Welcome to part 2 of the DMTA corridor. So, I'm going to disable some stuff right now because, well, it's going to get in my way and we don't need that right now. And it's getting in my way right now. Yeah. So, this is all just DMTA buses. First, we're going to start with 40 so we can get this out of the way. The 40 series buses in DMTA have higher frequency than regular, DMTA buses. And they also have less stops. Glide, of course, not DMTA, because there's multiple DMTA different. So, Route 40 starts at Kearney Park and Ride, travels down Harford Road, before turning onto the Alameda, and then turning onto 33rd Street with only one stop on 33rd Street and no stops on the Alameda, before turning onto Guilford Avenue and then turning onto 20th Street because 20th Street is a one-way street thingy, before turning onto St. Paul Street, then North Avenue, then back onto Guilford Avenue, you know what I mean? Then a few more stops here, then Fayette Street, then Howard Street, then Saratoga Street, then Ponca, then I think that's Ponca. Paca, not Ponca. Does all that. Then Edmonston Avenue, then Cooks Lane, Ingleside Avenue, then Parallel Drive to Woodlawn Drive, and then CMS over here, or Centers for Medicaid and Medicare and Medicaid Services. You didn't hear that. And then 41 is a loop around the Bel Air Edison area, which connects multiple neighborhoods in 6 miles. Also, it's very laggy over here. So it starts at Patterson Park Avenue and Federal Street before turning onto Gay Street, which then turns into Bel Air Road, before then going into the Bel Air Edison Crossing Shopping Center, Bel Air Road again, then it turns onto Mayfield Avenue, before turning onto Minnesota Avenue. Then Parkside Drive, then Robertson Avenue, then it would be Bowley's Lane, then Sinclair Lane, then Chesterfield Avenue, then Brems Lane, then Edison Highway, back to Federal Street, and then back to Patterson Park and Federal. That's a lot of glide routes. So I'll probably make a future video that dives deep into those. This might actually be the last part of Maryland and Jersey. But now I'm going to turn this off. And we're going to look at Swift. So here's Swift. Let's look at the pink line first. It starts at Mondawmin Mall / Metro Station before going down Pennsylvania Avenue, then Fulton Avenue, then Gilmore Street to Franklin Street, then West Baltimore Mark, then Pulaski Street, I believe. That's not Pulaski Street. What is that? Smallwood Street. Then Smallwood Street to Lexington Street. Then Fremont Avenue. Then Baltimore Street. Into downtown. Then Light Street, which takes it into another branch, which goes to Fort McHenry. Yes, I know that's pretty short, but it doesn't matter. It still goes to Fort McHenry. Then the other original branch continues going across the Hanover Street Bridge, across the Potty Street Bridge, South Baltimore Park and Ride, Willow, Capitol Hills, Glen Ridge, Furnace Branch, Crane Highway, Ritchie Highway, Marley Station, Baltimore Annapolis Boulevard. Is that a boulevard or just a road? Boulevard. And then Jumper's Hole bus loop before going all the way back up to Mondawmin. Then there's the Green Route, which isn't done yet, but it's going to go to Green Spring Station. So it starts in downtown, goes up Charles Street before getting onto Bologna Avenue to serve Rogers Forge. Then it goes back onto Charles Street, does the whole GBMC Shepherd Pratt area. Then goes up York Road, and then continues up York Road. That is Lutherville. Then it turns onto Timonium Road, and it's supposed to go to Thornton Road, and then take Thornton to Joppa Road. I believe it's supposed to Joppa Road. If I'm not, no, it's not supposed to do Joppa Road. It's supposed to do Seminary Avenue. So, yeah. Then there's Yellow, which is pretty long as well. It goes from Bliston-Falgarwood Transportation Center, which isn't done yet. It's supposed to have a lot of stuff there. That goes on to Honeygill Boulevard, then White Marsh Boulevard, then Bel Air Road, Northern Parkway, McLean Boulevard. Then there's a branch to Hillendale at Goucher Boulevard and Colbury Road. Then there's another branch up here, one that goes to Towson via, Burke Avenue to York Road. And then the regular branch continues up Goucher Boulevard, which then turns into Fairmount Avenue, and then turns onto Delaney Valley Road to Stella Maris Hospice. Yeah. Then there is the blue line to Berea, whatever you want to call it. Does all of that. Franklin Square, Philadelphia Road, Pulaski Highway, Monument Street. Then it just skips a bunch of stops here on Edison Highway. Then Federal Street and Patterson Park and Federal. Then there's the Red Line, which is a White Marsh loop that starts at Bliston-Falgarwood don't worry about that. Transportation Center or whatever, and goes around the whole White Marsh complex, like White Marsh Park and Ride and everything, before coming back to Bliston-Falgarwood. That's Swift Bus. Then let's do, where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, I accidentally deleted that. But I think I didn't finish the Metro. I think I did. No, I didn't. So let's finish what I didn't finish. Well, I didn't do the G line, which starts at Hunt Valley, goes down York Road before TU, GBMC, Charles Street. Then it does whatever it wants. West Baltimore Mark, Route 40, Ellicott City, a bunch of other stuff, and then Columbia Town Center. That's about it. I already did Anchor. Let's do the commuter rail. I accidentally deleted. Not commuter rail, commuter bus. This sucks. Why would they make it like that? So, there's only one line. It's called the 215. It starts at State Center, Cultural Center. And then it's supposed to go to Harper's Ferry or whatever I think of next. Probably Frederick or Eldersburg. I don't feel like making it go to Harper's Ferry. That's just pure laze, I know. Yeah, that's about it. Then there's Green Bus. There's only one line so far. It goes from Owings Mills Town Center through Garrison to Old Court. Then there's Max LRT. I believe there's only one line here as well. Yeah, there is. So it goes from High Point Park, all in Pasadena, all the way to Otterbein in downtown Baltimore. Then there's Pacer BRT. I did this at the beginning of this map's development. So let's start with the oldest route. I believe this is called 113 or something like that. So it starts at Route 40 Rolling Road Plaza, goes up Route 40, continues down Route 40, then goes through the Armistead Gardens neighborhood, then Orchard Ridge neighborhood, then Sinclair Lane, Bowley's Lane, then splits apart at Moravia Park Drive. It either goes to the Moravia bus loop, which isn't really a loop at all, or the Moravia Park thingy. Yeah, it's called Moravia, but it's Moravia Park. Then there's the interurban. This is the South Jersey part I was talking about. If it'll load, okay. Then this starts in Wilmington and goes all the way up to Camden. So it's like the NJT River line, pretty much. I would love if that would delete. Thank you. That's about that. Yeah. Then there's Pacer trams, which is also DMTA. Pacer is like Max, but like I haven't fully transferred everything over into the Max part. So far there's 2 lines, one isn't complete. So this is supposed to go from Fort McHenry to Bliston-Falgarwood Station. It's called the Hawker Line. This is it so far. But here's the Burnside Line. It goes from Hopkins Bayview all the way over to I-70 Park and Ride. Because how can you call I-70 Park and Ride a park and ride if nothing stops there? You have to walk to the things you can ride. And no one wants to do that. That's why we have a tram that goes there. And that's it for the route and the route stuff. And here is the whole rolling stock and everything. So Green Bus and Glide Bus and Express comes every 15 to 25 minutes during peak hours, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Every 20 to every 35 minutes, off-peak and weekends. 24-hour service except weekends. Buses in the 40s series have higher frequency and less stops. Then there's Pacer BRT, which comes every 10 to 15 minutes. Peak hours of 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Comes every 15 to 25 minutes off-peak and weekends, 24-hour service, including weekends, except 112 and 115. 112 used to exist, but forgot to edit that. 112 went from West Baltimore Mark to White Marsh, but I got rid of it because it was a clutter, and no bus should travel up Pulaski Highway after Philadelphia Road. So, yeah. Then there's Green Bus, which comes every 10 to 20 minutes. Peak hours, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Every 20 to 30 minutes off-peak and weekends. 24-hour service with no service on Sundays, so workers can rest because it's like Chick-fil-A. Above average ridership. I don't know why that mattered. That was a really long time ago. That was like 9 weeks ago. And it's basically like the Nancy TVR of Baltimore. The bus fleet for Glide Bus is the New Flyer DE60 LFA, Nova Bus LFSA HEV, New Flyer XDE40, Nova Bus LFSE, and 60-foot variations of all buses, if they weren't already listed as 60-foot. Pacer BRT. We have the Nobby 360 BRT and Gillig BRT Plus. Green Bus, Hess Light Tram 25 DC and Hess Light Tram 19, as well as the Van Hool Exquisity 24. Oh, it's like Exquisity. I like that. Never realized that. Then there's Pacer HRT. Every 5 to 15 minutes. I'm going through something today. Peak hours of 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Every 15 to 30 minutes off-peak and weekends. Rolling stock is Siemens AT6. Pacer Interurban. Every 25 to 40 minutes. Peak hours of 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Every 30 to 45 minutes off-peak and weekends. No service on holidays. Meant to put that in parentheses as well. So rolling stock is Stadler Flirt EMUs. Then there's the Max LRT. Every 5 to 15 minutes, peak hours. Yeah, it's pretty much the same for all of these. Every 15 to 30 minutes off-peak and weekends. Rolling stock is Stadler Wink. Pacer Tram. Pretty frequent, yeah. It uses the CAF Urbos. And it has 22-hour service from 12 to 10. A clean way to switch workers. DMTA commuter and intercity bus lines. They just use the Alexander Dennis 500 Superlow and IATS Eclipse. If you don't know what an IATS Eclipse looks like, just look it up. I don't feel like looking that up for you. For Anchor, it's just the Stadler Kiss. Yeah. Swift Bus. Yeah. The yellow to Stella Maris has a weird thing because it's a limited service bus, because it's a hospice and it's meant for the workers of Stella Maris, because why would it just be a regular bus going up there, you know? The bus fleet is New Flyer DE60 LFA, New Flyer XD40, XDE40, Nova Bus LFSE, and it's pretty much like Glide. The fare is Charm Card, Liberty Card, which is Pacer and Glide and DMTA, of course. Child, $190, adult, $350, senior, $290 to $295, depending on state. And veteran and medical personnel, that's free to 50 cents, depending on state. Student, verified scholarship or ID verification. Fee free or 50 cents. Pacer is part of DMTA group. And if you wanted to know what Bliston Fowlerwood Transit Center is, here you go. You can also pause. Then Swift Yellow, yeah, I explained that's a limited time bus. Then there's going to be the Bliston Busway. haven't started development on that yet, obviously. And MAX stands for Metropolitan Area Express. It connects cities or smaller towns into the major point cities like Baltimore and Washington, D.C., but no route may exceed 40 miles since it's an LRT. And that pretty much sums it up for the DMTA corridor from Maryland and South Jersey. Next, I'm thinking of DC and Virginia because, well, DMTA stands for Del Mary Transit Authority because it serves Delaware and Maryland, but it also serves Pennsylvania, New Jersey, well, South New Jersey, not any other part of New Jersey except Camden. And yeah, see you guys later.